are all looking for adventure. We are all looking for adventure.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Marriage Adventure Podcast. We're so glad you're listening today.
Yep, we're glad you're here. And let me just say, it is a beautiful day here at the farm.
It is. It's hot, but it's beautiful.
It's hot, but it's beautiful. So our topic today hits every couple. And if you've been married for a while, sometimes things just feel off. That slow drift we talk about so much on the podcast just sets in, and you don't know what to do about it. So you still love each other, but sometimes things feel a little off.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty natural, right? Life is long, and marriage is intended to be lifelong, and sometimes it happens. So most of the time that happens. And so today we're going to talk about just one simple habit that can actually begin to correct that, kind of like going to the chiropractor a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And restore intimacy and connection in your relationship.
And I love this. I love what we're talking about today because this is not complicated and it's not overwhelming. It's something that's pretty easy to do, but it's something that you have to be intentional about, and it's something that you can start doing tonight.
Yeah, and so if you've been feeling more like roommates than a connected couple, then I think this episode's going to be really good. So, speaking of connection, Colby and I have been working on something this week.
What's that?
And it's well, you asked that like you don't know.
Oh, I know.
It's it's been good. It's been good for connection with Colby and me to kind of hang out and build something together. But we're building it so couples can feel connected. So if you know anything about what we do, we have a kind of a farm couples retreat here, and we host workshops for multiple groups, for churches and different things like that. But one of the main things we do is we host intensives, and you'll hear ads sometimes on the podcast for that, or if you've looked at our website, www.marriageadventure.com. A little plug right there. And so we have a farm retreat for couples, and so I'm always looking for little things for couples to be able to do, because in the evenings of the intensives, it's just their time to connect. And so many couples, life is so crazy, you just don't often. I tell couples when they come here, enjoy the boredom and embrace the boredom, because in the evenings it's quiet and peaceful. And so we're always looking to kind of add little things for them to do. We've got a pond if they want to go fishing. We have now 5 little mini donkeys, and we have little Gus, who's a little baby donkey. He's like 7 weeks old, 8 weeks old. He's cute. And we have little donkeys they can hang out with and play with. Got all sorts of little games. So Colby and I this week we had this little area on the side of the cabin where the couple stay. It was just, I couldn't grow grass in it. It was just kind of a yucky area, and I wanted to really embrace it and do something neat there. And I've thought of a million type things. I thought of a hot tub, and you very quickly were like, "Are you going to clean that thing?" And I'm like, "Nope, never mind." And
too high maintenance.
Yeah, and so we thought of different things. So what we built a putt-putt range.
Well,
so we got a 4-hole putt-putt course, and then you can add little elements to the holes and make it an 8-hole putt-putt course. And so it's awesome. And so Colby has had so much fun building it out. So you'll be able to see that soon on social and on the website. But yeah, so it's just something that couples can do together, have fun. Putt-putt's kind of one of those things. It's not too competitive, but it's fun.
Unless it's Colby.
Unless it's Colby, then everything's competitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so that kind of plays right into what we're talking about.
Yeah, because it plays into the whole idea that we can become disconnected if we're not intentional. And, you start getting in that place, you kind of drifted there, and you start feeling confused. It's like we love each other, but we just don't feel that connection anymore. And there's not a lot of fighting or anything going on like that. It's just you feel you're not really connected anymore.
It's emotional distance.
Yeah.
Yes, and because of life, and life happens, we get into these patterns, and we always talk about drift on the podcast because it's a very real thing. Those patterns never connect, and they always drift us away from healthy connections.
Yeah.
And the phone's one of the biggest, right? Doom scrolling on the phone's one of the biggest things that leads to that. But what happens is we start out face to face, when we first get married. And then we move shoulder to shoulder because we got jobs and we got life and different things and kids. And then, but then we move back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And we start just handling life back to back. And
well, that's happened to us.
And it's happened to us, yeah. And so the intention is you spend face to face, shoulder to shoulder, turn back face to face, shoulder to shoulder. You might have to go back to back every once in a while, back to shoulder, back to face to face, and rotating between those, but always having the face to face in there. The problem is drift squeezes out the face to face.
Yep.
And you tend to stay back to back most of the time.
And when it happens for too long, you definitely get disconnected, and then you've got to make bigger strides to step back towards each other.
Yeah, yeah. And I think one of the areas that most couples, I mean, we drift all day long, but I think nighttime drift and disconnection is so prevalent with couples because you typically, and it all depends on what your life looks like with kids or work or different things like that, you typically kind of take that as a defrag, yes. Yeah. If once the kids are in bed or whatever, you use it. Maybe sometimes the wife will use it to finish cleaning up the house or getting ready for the next day, getting stuff in order. The husband might finish up some work stuff, but they'll just kind of adjourn to their man cave and watch.
Separate rooms, or she'll go to the bedroom and watch or read or watch her binge watch something,
and he'll play video games or watch his ESPN or something like that, and then they just sit and maybe doom scroll. Yeah. And most couples end the day back to back in the bed doom scrolling.
Well, I don't know that that's intentional. Well, obviously it's not intentional. Most couples don't do that intentionally, but it's like my brain has been working on overdrive all day, or I'm physically exhausted, and all I want to do is just sit down and do something that's relaxing. And usually the last thing we want to do at the end of the day is engage emotionally more.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And so that exhaustion leads to that disengagement and all that kind of stuff. So, but I think one of the most important connection points could be at the end of the day when everything begins to settle, Yeah. And because if you don't, those unprocessed emotions just kind of carry into tomorrow, the next day, and all that.
Well, then you get all these emotions that kind of build up. And it seems like if we don't have that time, the more we just don't have that time at night. It's like I keep forgetting to tell you stuff, and then I move on with life, and then something happens, and you're like, well, you didn't tell me that. I was like, I didn't?
Yeah.
I thought I did, And sometimes
you didn't. I just forgot.
Right, right.
But intimacy is lost in just small daily disconnects, not usually the big moments. Are you looking for a transformational investment in your marriage relationship? Well, whether you're simply looking to press the reset button, or you're heading into a new season of marriage, or maybe you need to process and debrief a particularly tough season, well, a marriage intensive could be the answer. These are private 3-day, all-inclusive intensives here at our farm retreat in the foothills of the North Georgia mountains. They include lodging, all meals, and 21 hours of coaching to help you and your spouse reconnect and strengthen your relationship. Well, if you're interested and you'd like more information, visit themarriageadventure.com/intensives. All right, so if you read the title of this, we promised you to reveal the number one habit that restores intimacy in marriage. Sometimes those are used for shock value. I don't know if it's the number one habit, but we love it, and it sure is high. It is one of our favorite. And here we go. You ready? Drum roll. Go to bed at the same time.
Yes.
Go to bed at the same time. Now, when we say go to bed, we really don't mean like
go to sleep.
Go to sleep. No. But kind of adjourn, right? Spend that last 30 minutes to an hour at the end of the day when the dew settles and when life begins to settle. Spend that together.
Yes.
And even if it's 15 minutes laying in bed defragging.
Now, this is something that we've been doing for probably, 15 to
17 years. Yep. I think it started when Josie was born. And that's when I can go back to and remember that it started. Maybe it started before then, but I know it was around then.
Yes.
And we had kids now, and she all of a sudden had a bedtime.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know.
And I was exhausted by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we just started kind of adjourning together at the end of the day. And it's so funny because we were doing, when we first started the Marriage Adventure podcast, it was back episode 6 and 7. If you know what I'm doing with my hands, I'm doing the 6, 7 thing. And so we were interviewing some friends of ours who was our pastor at the time, he and his wife, and we found out that they did the same thing, that they go to bed at the same time. And we were like, oh, we didn't know y'all did that. And they said, yep. And they kind of said the same thing. It's been one of the greatest things they've done in their marriage.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it was that thing that's like, before kids, we were always together, always had the time for whatever. And then, when, especially after we added number 2, life it seemed like it was busier. And I'm like, I need them to go to bed. And so we did put them to bed every night. I remember by 8 o'clock they would be in bed, and then we had the next 2 hours till 10 o'clock just to hang out. And
and it creates intentional connection, right? It creates this consistent, predictable connection window together.
Now, you're going, I cannot put my kids to bed at 8 o'clock. I get that. Sure. Our kids are now teenagers.
Older teenagers.
We put ourselves to bed and they're still up a lot of times. But it's like, we're going to bed. See y'all. The interesting thing that's happened, though, and if you've got teenagers, if you know, you know, but they have started wanting to be part of that end of the day defrag.
They come and jump in the bed. They've never slept in our bed.
Never.
But they come in and jump in our bed when we go to bed at 9:30 or so, just to hang out. They want to hang out and talk.
And I'll say, y'all got to go to bed. And they're like, not yet. Not yet.
And,
not yet.
When you have teenagers and they want to talk, you talk.
You got to listen to them at that time.
Yep, you talk whenever they're ready. And so they just kind of want to come and hang out, and they end up, finally we have to drive them out.
Yeah.
Usually I have to threaten to get naked, or we're going to have sex, and then they
get out of the room.
Okay, we're going.
But it's kind of become a sweet thing that they want to be part of defragging as well. And then I'm like, okay, let's get them out of here early enough so that we can still actually have a conversation and not fall asleep.
We only have a few more years with them at home, and I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it does. It creates something for us. It created that thing we looked forward to. And it reclaims time instead of adding more. Because you can't have more hours in the day.
Yeah.
But if you can carve out that little bit of time as you go to bed and connect during that time. And so what does this time become, right? What does this look like? So,
well, for us, it's that time where, and I don't know that we even knew what we were doing when we did it, but now we can look at it and say it's that time where we can emotionally process the day, kind of that defrag time of, hey, it's been crazy all day, but what's your day been like for real? I mean, I know we've maybe talked about stuff at dinner, but how are you? What, are you good? Yeah,
and if you got separate jobs, you're living separate lives, it's a good opportunity then to fill each other in on what happened during the day, or if you have something you need to vent about, or something happens with the kids and you need to fill each other in on that.
Yep. Well, and I know you talk about this. People talk all the time about trying to get your teenagers or your kids to talk to you and to build in ways to get them to do that, like talk about would you just share what was your high and what was your low of the day? I know that sounds silly to do that with your spouse, but sometimes that's what you need to get the conversation going. Tell me the best thing that happened to you today. Yeah. Or what was the worst?
Yep. Yeah, and it just, you can clear tension. It's, if you want it to be a spiritual connection time and you want to do a Bible study or devotional together during that time, that's a great time. It's another great time to connect physically, sexually, right? Physical intimacy.
As long as your house is not as small as ours.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Kids,
it doesn't work in our house.
Yeah, the kids, our walls are thin, apparently. Yep. And so, yeah. But and there, you can get in bad habits with that, too, and drift, right? So, I mean, I know for a while we were just binge watching. We'd get in the bed and just binge watch. Yeah. And that, that's okay. It's okay. Don't do that forever, though. When you get to the end of a season or end of something, take a break and just turn off the TV. I know sometimes we'll get in bed and you're dog tired and I'm not sleepy, so I want to turn on typically I'll turn on like an old sitcom or something, and I'm asleep halfway before it's done.
Mm-hmm.
But it just kind of helps me drift, and I don't do that all the time, but I try to not turn it on until we've talked and kind of gotten that talking out.
Mm-hmm.
But so let's kind of create a simple framework for you guys. There's 4 R's, right? Reflect. Look at there. It's like pastoral. 4 R's.
Uh-huh.
Reflect. First of all, what stood out today?
Yep.
Right. What happened today?
Mm-hmm. And then reveal. Like, what do you think? What are you feeling right now? Kind of the reveal. Like, that's a dig a little bit deeper into the feelings.
And as you reflect, it might open up that revelation. Like, what happened today, and how'd you feel about it? And then you could request. Right. So what do you need? How can I pray for you?
Mm-hmm.
Or one question we use, and you've probably heard on the podcast, how can I help?
Mm-hmm.
Right? How can I pray for you, or can I help with that issue?
Mm-hmm. And maybe you can, maybe you can't, but there's that opportunity to share that, and then reconnect. Maybe that's prayer, or just being available, or intimacy. It's just, what's that connection time? So you've got reflect, reveal, request, reconnect.
That's right, and just keep it fun, keep it light. You may not even go lay in bed. It might be you go on the back porch and have a glass of wine or something to drink, or you might have a little fire pit, or you might go play putt-putt.
Well, this is my favorite time of year, where I know there are times like in the winter, there's not a lot that you can get outside and do, but I love this time of year, just sitting on the porch.
Days are longer.
Yep. And so it's nice to just, unless we've been working outside all day, then I'm like, I just need air conditioner. But, it's nice to sit on the porch in the shade and just sit and talk. And that's kind of my favorite time of year this is my favorite time of year in the spring, summer, for that reason, because we can just hang out outside more.
Yeah.
So
we want to issue a challenge to you, right? Try it for 7 days. Try it for a week.
Yeah.
And don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple, keep it fun, keep it light, just connect, right? And focus on consistency over perfection. It might not be long, might be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That's fine.
But just make sure when you go to bed, you at least make the effort to make sure you're not looking at your phones, you're putting away your electronics, you put away your computer, you're done with the work for the day. You don't need to sit in the bed and work on one thing and one on the other. Just
get your phone down, put your phone down. Typically the way it works with us is in the den with the kids watching TV or doing something on my laptop, and you'll go get ready for bed. And
ladies have to take off makeup and do all that annoying
all the
stuff at the end of the day.
And then you'll usually come in and say, all right, I'm
going
heading to bed. And that's my cue to put down the laptop or say, good night, kids, or lock up the doors, turn off that kind of thing.
That's me making a bid for connection, if you've heard us talk about that before.
That's right.
It's me saying, hey, I'm going to bed. You want to come with me?
That's right. So something very simple but very doable for you guys.
Yep. So I love how simple this is, but also how intentional it is. And it's not about adding more to your schedule, because this is the time of day that you're already naturally going to bed anyway.
Right.
It's about being more intentional with what you're already doing.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of couples, guys, this could be a turning point for you. Just choosing to end your day together instead of separately, putting down the phone and turning towards each other can start to rebuild connection in a powerful way.
Yep, so that's our challenge to you for this week. It's really easy, but try it. Go to bed at the same time for the next 7 days and just be intentional with that time.
And don't worry about doing it perfectly. Just show up, talk, listen, pray, reconnect, and let that rhythm start to build.
And if this episode resonated with you, we'd love for you to share it with another couple. And there are lots of people out there that might need the same thing that you do.
That's right. And as always, if you want to help build deeper connection and living on mission in your marriage, check out the resources we have online on the website, themarriageadventure.com. We have some at-home courses there. And then you can follow us at The Marriage Adventure on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of that stuff.
Yep. See you next week.
We are all